A life that has been methodically organized, sanded down and polished until every sharp edge has vanished. A life that from the outside appears complete, successful, and perfectly functional. This is not the life of a failure or a rogue. It is the life of the respectable, settled man, the man who made the choice, the ultimate, terrifying, comfortable choice to marry. He achieved the objective, secured the future, and exchanged the vast, terrifying potential of freedom for the small, predictable certainty of domestic obligation. He is the cultural triumph, the settled hero of the middle-class narrative. Yet, beneath the veneer of shared mortgages and coordinated vacations, something is quietly, existentially wrong. Before we dive deeper into the abyss of this realization, stop for a second. Look around your own environment wherever you are absorbing this thought. Tell me, where in the world are you right now? What city are you observing this truth from? Because this is a truth that exists independent of geography, a philosophical gravity that pulls on the soul regardless of the continent or the cultural standards that surround you. The question of the mistake, the exact moment the married man realizes the magnitude of his compromise, is not a simple question of regretting a partner or wishing for solitude. It is a realization steeped in the dark, cold philosophy of Friedrich Nietzsche, a thinker obsessed with the price of conformity and the betrayal of one's own highest potential. Nietzsche understood that the greatest mistakes are often made not in acts of passion, but in acts of surrender. Surrender to the herd, surrender to safety, surrender to the low-bar aspiration of simple happiness. The foundation of this mistake is laid long before the wedding day, buried deep within the romantic lie that two halves make a whole. The man entering the contract is often attempting to solve a metaphysical problem with a social solution. He seeks grounding, purpose, and a defense against the chaotic freedom that Nietzsche championed as the prerequisite for greatness. He enters marriage seeking to kill the internal anxiety that comes with being a solitary creator of one's own values. He seeks, in short, to become the last man, the being who has forgotten how to despise himself, who has mastered the art of comfort, and who only blinks at the vastness of the universe. And what is marriage in the severe Nietzschean lens, if not the greatest instrument of reciprocal domestication? It is the process by which two untamed spirits agree to mutually clip each other's wings for the sake of synchronized flight. The man trades the brutal, exhilarating uncertainty of the open sky for the cozy, predetermined trajectory of the shared nest. He mistakes shared routine for shared destiny, and constant presence for genuine connection. He believes he is building a fortress against the world, when in reality he is constructing a beautifully decorated, inescapable cage for his own will to power. Look at the chronology of the mistake. Initially, the man is fueled by the intoxication of the new project. The house, the children, the merging of lives. His energy is redirected from existential self-creation to practical problem-solving. This redirection feels noble, it feels responsible, and society applauds it loudly. But nobility and responsibility, Nietzsche warned, are often the beautiful masks of resentment, the resentment against the higher, harder path of self-overcoming. The man begins to define himself not by what he might become, but by what he must provide. His ambition shifts from conquering himself to maintaining the structure. The initial feeling is subtle, a mere shadow cast over the periphery of his consciousness. It is the vague, persistent boredom that settles in after the novelty wears off. It is the realization that his most dangerous, most passionate, most uniquely his impulses, the impulses that demanded risk, solitude, and potential failure, are now deemed inconvenient, selfish, or reckless by the new governing authority in his life. He finds himself censoring his own thoughts, filtering his own ambitions, and lowering the volume on his inner monologue just to maintain the domestic peace. This self-censorship is the first crucial stage of the mistake. He has internalized the morality of the herd, where his highest potential is subordinated to the harmony of the unit. He begins to confuse the need for comfort with the search for meaning. He convinces himself that his life is now richer because it is shared, when in fact it has become thinner because it is diluted. The man who once dreamed of becoming a solitary peak now contents himself with being a comfortable, flat plateau. The establishment of routine becomes the psychological anchor of his defeat. He wakes at the same time, performs the same tasks, anticipates the same conversations, and falls asleep next to the same person, day after grinding day. This predictability, which he once craved as stability, slowly reveals itself as stagnation. Nietzsche saw time as cyclical, a terrifying, eternal recurrence. If the man deep in his soul cannot bear the thought of living this same day, this same conversation, this same routine, 10,000 times over, then the realization is already knocking at his door. The mistake is the surrender to the same, the profound anti-life denial of change, risk, and radical becoming. Furthermore, the man, in his pursuit of marital comfort, has entered the realm of reciprocal debt. He believes he is trading love, but he is fundamentally trading obligation. He has placed himself in a position where his partner's happiness becomes a proxy for his own success, and his self-worth is measured by his adherence to the contractual duties of husband and provider. When he feels a stirring of the old, untamed self, a desire to drop everything, travel, or pursue a mad ambition, he is immediately silenced by the crushing weight of utility. I cannot do that, he thinks, because I am needed here. I have signed the contract. I have incurred the debt. This is where the Nietzschean critique cuts deepest. The man has allowed the external demands of a social institution to dictate his internal valuation. He has given up the radical freedom of self-creation, the burden of saying yes to his own chaos, in exchange for the passive approval of his peers and the manageable dissatisfaction of a well-ordered life. He has chosen convenience over conquest. The psychological consequence of this slow surrender is a creeping sense of resentment directed inward. He doesn't blame his wife. She is usually perfectly good, often loving, and playing the role society defined for her. He blames himself for lacking the courage to remain free, or for not being capable enough to integrate his wildness with his commitment. He starts to feel like an actor in his own life, playing the role of husband or father perfectly, while the real audience, his authentic self, has left the theater. The moments leading up to the great realization are mundane, yet profound in their symbolism. It might be during a tedious discussion about coordinating schedules, or while assembling a piece of flat-pack furniture, or perhaps while watching his partner fall asleep, realizing that the person next to him is now less a mystery and more a predictable, comfortable entity, whose internal landscape he believes he has already charted completely. It is the moment he realizes that predictability has extinguished the awe, and utility has replaced the spirit. He is safe, yes, but safety for Nietzsche is the enemy of the human project. He looks at his well-cushioned life and feels a hollow echo. He has built a masterpiece of stability, but stability was never the goal of his highest, most dangerous self. The mistake, then, is not the choice of who he married, but the choice of what he sacrificed to the abstract concept of marriage itself, the violent, necessary demand for self-overcoming. He realizes that he has achieved everything society told him to strive for, and yet he is not the man he was supposed to become. He has become domesticated, predictable, and worst of all, perfectly satisfied with the smallness of his existence. This comfortable, anesthetized existence is the existential blunder, the slow, deliberate murder of the Übermensch within. He is not miserable. He is far worse. He is comfortable. And comfort, in the eyes of the philosopher of eternal struggle, is the only true tragedy. He sits in his beautifully appointed home, surrounded by the proofs of his success, and feels the crushing weight of his success. The life he has built is too strong, too robust, too dependent on his constant maintenance to ever be abandoned. He realizes he is functionally indispensable, yet spiritually irrelevant. The very success of his marital life is the monument to his own self-betrayal. The foundation is set. The man has achieved the societal ideal, yet he carries the profound, unarticulated guilt of having settled for happiness instead of demanding greatness. His existence is now defined by the boundaries of the contract, rather than the boundless expanse of his own will. The stage is perfectly illuminated. The quiet tension is palpable, and the philosophical groundwork has been laid for the inevitable, catastrophic clarity. The core of this monumental mistake, the ultimate betrayal of self, is the surrender of radical autonomy to the comforting chains of consensus. We have just scratched the surface of this profound and isolating truth. The weight of this realization is often too heavy to bear alone. For those brave enough to confront this philosophical chasm, your insight is vital. We want to know the phrase that, in a single breath, perfectly captures this feeling of comfortable, existential surrender. Drop your suggested phrase in the comments below. becoming part of the few who dare to articulate this silent tragedy. Your intellectual engagement is how we build a community dedicated to ruthless self-examination. Now, secure your place among those who seek deeper truth by clicking the like button and subscribing right now. You are affirming your commitment to philosophical depth, and we recognize that commitment. In the next part, we move closer to the specific psychological triggers and the specific mundane moment that shatters the man's illusion, delivering the precise, cold clarity of his mistake. Do not dare to miss the moment where comfort turns into crushing clarity. Cada homem acredita que compreende o preço do compromisso até que a fatura chegue, anos depois, impressa não em moeda fiduciária, mas na diminuta valência de sua própria alma. Ele se lembra do momento em que assinou o contrato, os votos sagrados, o vestido branco, a gravidade emocional coletiva de duas famílias se fundindo. Aquilo não foi um começo, foi um final disfarçado de celebração. A percepção mais esmagadora na vida de um homem não é que ele se casou com a pessoa errada, mas que ele se casou com a ideia de uma pessoa segura, assassinando assim o homem perigoso que ele estava destinado a se tornar. Este é o momento exato que Friedrich Nietzsche previu. O instante em que a máscara da felicidade doméstica começa a rachar, revelando o terror existencial subjacente, o conhecimento de que você trocou a vontade de potência pela vontade de conforto. Antes de mergulharmos na anatomia desta catástrofe psicológica, este fracasso supremo de autoconfiança, diga-me, onde você está testemunhando este drama se desenrolar neste exato momento? De qual cidade você está observando esta verdade? O horror, o puro e dilacerante erro filosófico, não surge com uma briga nem com uma traição, mas no silêncio das noites de terça-feira. É a percepção de que o homem parado na cozinha, dobrando roupa, discutindo taxas de hipoteca, é meramente o fantasma curado de seu eu anterior. O homem que outrora ansiava pelo trovão do devir, que buscava as alturas traiçoeiras da autodescoberta, agora está seguramente amarrado ao chão do vale, trocando sua visão grandiosa e perigosa por uma utilidade garantida. Este é o momento em que a alma grita sob o verniz da maturidade. Nietzsche alertou que o casamento, para alguns, é uma longa e tediosa conversa pontuada por filhos e contas. Um contrato elaborado não para o amor, mas para a defesa mútua contra o terror da solidão e as exigências da autocriação. O homem casado, preso nesta fase, começa a examinar as evidências de sua própria domesticação. Olhe para sua biblioteca, agora cheia de manuais de autoajuda, em vez de filosofia desafiadora. Olhe para seus hobbies, trocados de empreendimentos de alto risco para rotinas previsíveis e consumistas. Esta rendição não foi exigida com uma espada, foi solicitada com um suspiro, embalada como razoabilidade e entregue com a ameaça implícita de descontentamento doméstico. Ele confundiu inércia com paz e consistência com força. A maior parte da tragédia reside na natureza insidiosa da traição. Não foi um grande ato de covardia, mas 1000 pequenos recuos. Ele parou de escrever aquele livro porque exigia muito tempo de silêncio que poderia ser dedicado à família. Ele recusou a mudança de carreira arriscada porque a segurança era o mais responsável. Ele abandonou o círculo de amigos que o desafiavam intelectualmente em favor de casais que apenas afirmavam seu estilo de vida atual. Cada escolha era logicamente defensável. Cada compromisso era socialmente validado. Mas o acúmulo desses bons compromissos resultou em uma catástrofe espiritual. Ele não foi forçado a se apequenar. Ele consentiu em sua própria diminuição, pensando que estava construindo uma vida, quando na verdade estava construindo uma jaula. O casamento, neste contexto, revela-se a mais eficiente máquina de mediocridade. Não porque a esposa seja inerentemente a fonte da mediocridade, mas porque a instituição provê a desculpa perfeita para a estagnação. A estabilidade exigida pela vida conjugal torna o risco, a busca pelo Übermensch, o super-homem nietzschiano, não apenas inconveniente, mas moralmente repreensível. O homem começa a usar a virtude da responsabilidade como um escudo contra o vício da ambição. Ele se torna um arquivista de sua própria vida em vez de um artista. Seus dias são estruturados em torno de compromissos: levar, buscar, apagar, consertar. O tempo dedicado à contemplação, à criação, à luta existencial que define uma vida de significado, é sistematicamente erradicado pela tirania do urgente e do necessário. A mente, outrora um campo de batalha para ideias perigosas, torna-se um quadro de avisos para listas de tarefas. E no meio dessa eficiência meticulosa, o homem casado percebe que sua vida é um triunfo da logística e um fracasso da metafísica. Ele resolveu todos os problemas práticos, mas perdeu a guerra existencial. O verdadeiro momento de acerto de contas ocorre quando o homem vê, com clareza fria e objetiva, que sua parceira não é mais a musa estática e caótica que ele outrora idolatrava. Ela é uma administradora, uma gerente de projeto da vida conjunta, focada em eficiência e segurança. Mas o verdadeiro ferrão é a percepção espelhada. Ele também não é mais o intelecto selvagem e aspirante que ela via nele. Ele é o provedor, o acessório previsível, a utilidade. Ele percebe que ambos se contentaram com o meio termo, e agora compartilham um desprezo mútuo e submerso. Desprezo não um pelo outro, mas pela mediocridade que criaram juntos. Eles são testemunhas dos fracassos de ambição um do outro. Este desengano mútuo é o ácido que corrói o alicerce do relacionamento. É a pressão sutil e diária de ter que manter uma performance de felicidade na frente da única pessoa que conhece, intimamente, a profundidade de sua covardia filosófica. Ele se lembra de uma citação antiga, talvez de Nietzsche, talvez de si mesmo, que dizia que os casamentos felizes são aqueles em que as decepções são compatíveis. Ele agora entende que a compatibilidade deles reside em terem se decepcionado com a mesma escala de vida que se recusaram a viver. Mas a percepção atinge seu peso total e devastador quando o conceito do eterno retorno se choca com sua consciência, não como um experimento de pensamento abstrato, mas como uma realidade doméstica imediata. Ele está dobrando a mesma roupa, discutindo o mesmo orçamento escolar, tendo a mesma discussão sobre a configuração do termostato, e de repente, uma voz em sua mente, gélida e implacável, pergunta: você deseja que esta sua vida, tal como a viveu, seja vivida novamente, incontáveis vezes, exatamente como é agora? Este é o momento em que o erro é quantificado. O homem casado, preso no ciclo monótono do conforto, descobre que não pode afirmar esta vida. Ele não pode gritar sim para o eterno retorno desta terça-feira previsível. Sua existência inteira se passa diante dele como uma repetição infinita e cinzenta. Este é o pânico metafísico. Ele não apenas fez uma escolha ruim, ele fez uma escolha que o impede de alguma vez afirmar a existência plenamente. Ele sacrificou o abraço dionisíaco do caos da vida, a dor criativa, a destruição necessária, pelas linhas limpas e ordenadas do sonho apolíneo. E agora, o silêncio apolíneo é ensurdecedor. Ele está confortável, sim, mas ele não está vivendo. Ele está observando o suicídio lento, seguro e calculado de seu potencial. Ele está assistindo à sua própria morte, filmada em câmera lenta, em alta definição, e estrelando seu eu comprometido. A vida doméstica se torna para ele um longo e contínuo adeus ao eu que ele poderia ter sido. A cada concessão, a cada fim de semana gasto em manutenção em vez de criação, ele cimenta seu status como o último homem, aquele que inventou a felicidade, mas não consegue suportar a ideia de grandeza. Ele se torna o homem que pisca na luz da verdade, o homem que escolhe o sono espiritual sobre a vigília dolorosa. A pior parte é que ele não tem ninguém para culpar além do seu próprio medo. Foi o seu medo do fracasso, o seu medo da solidão, o seu medo da verdadeira, aniquiladora liberdade, que o levou a procurar segurança na forma de uma vida compartilhada. Ele percebe que o casamento não foi a fonte de sua fraqueza, mas o sintoma mais claro de uma covardia que ele carregava consigo muito antes dos votos. Ele usou a esposa e a família como uma fortaleza para se proteger do desafio nietzschiano. Torna-te quem tu és. Ao se tornar o homem de família ideal, ele deixou de ser um indivíduo. Ele dissolveu sua identidade em um coletivo, o nós. E agora, o eu está gritando, sufocado. A realização não é apenas sobre o amor que se perdeu, mas sobre o alto sacrifício que ele glorificou erroneamente. Ele pensou que estava sendo um herói, e agora percebe que estava apenas sendo um covarde bem comportado. Ele olha para trás e vê que a única coisa que ele realmente construiu foi uma rotina à prova de crises, e ele é o refém mais valioso dentro dela. Ele possui segurança material, estabilidade emocional e um futuro previsível, e percebe que esses são exatamente os ingredientes que tornam a vida indigna de ser vivida. Segundo o mais profundo julgamento filosófico, ele está vivendo uma existência que não pode ser afirmada infinitamente. Essa é a essência do erro nietzschiano. A consequência deste erro profundo é que o homem deixa de ser uma força da natureza e se torna meramente um acessório da rotina. Ele troca a liberdade aterrorizante da estrada aberta pela segurança sufocante do beco sem saída. Ele não está mais definindo o mundo. O mundo está definindo-o, medindo-o e achando-o totalmente adequado, o que é o insulto máximo a uma alma que um dia sonhou com a transcendência. Esta percepção, este soco no estômago da autotraição, é raramente falada em voz alta, mas os homens que a sentem conhecem o momento exato em que o fogo se apagou. Compartilhe a frase que encapsula essa percepção específica e terrível. Escreva isto nos comentários agora. Eu escolhi o porto em vez do mar. Que este seja o código secreto, a verdade compartilhada. Estamos construindo uma comunidade definida por aqueles que buscam a profundidade filosófica, não o conforto superficial. Clique no botão de inscrição agora. Toque no sino de notificação. Junte-se ao movimento de homens que recusam o caminho do último homem, porque a verdadeira força exige confronto constante com verdades desconfortáveis. E na próxima e última parte, dissecaremos as rotas de fuga catastróficas que os homens tentam quando enfrentam esta verdade, a escolha máxima e aterrorizante que eles devem fazer para reconciliar o homem que são com o homem que sacrificaram. Você não pode se dar ao luxo de perder o que está por vir. There is a moment, an infinitesimal sliver of time, when the entire edifice of a man's chosen life collapses into perfect, agonizing clarity. It is not marked by a scream, nor a confrontation, nor the signing of papers. It is defined by silence, a silence so absolute it seems to absorb all light and sound from the universe, leaving the man floating in a void of pure realization. This is the moment Nietzsche speaks of, the sudden, lethal injection of truth that reveals not just a bad decision, but a fundamental betrayal of the self. Before we sink into this abyss of self-knowledge, tell me, what city are you watching this revelation from? Because the truth we discuss transcends geography. It is a universal anchor dropped into the lonely depths of the human soul. The man has spent years, perhaps decades, constructing a reality based on appearance and comfort. He married the dream, the expectation, the stability offered by the soft, unquestioning gaze of another. He believed he was choosing happiness, but in the Nietzschean sense, he was choosing anesthesia. He chose the path of least resistance, trading the terrifying, exhilarating burden of self-mastery for the predictable weight of routine obligation. He did not marry a woman. He married a fortress against his own necessary struggle. And now, in the quiet late-night hours, perhaps standing in the fluorescent glare of the kitchen or staring at the muted reflection in a darkened window pane, the fortress walls dissolve. The external circumstances are irrelevant. The children are asleep, the bills are paid, the house is temperate. Everything is fine. And that is the exact devastating realization. Everything is fine, and he is ruined. He sees the marriage not as a partnership, but as a vast, well-organized conspiracy against his potential. Every compromise was a concession to mediocrity. Every joint decision, a retreat from radical self-affirmation. He remembers the younger self, the hungry, wild-eyed creature teeming with dangerous, unformed potential, and realizes that he killed that man deliberately, sacrificing him on the altar of social acceptance and domestic peace. This wasn't an accidental death. It was ritualistic suicide, performed under the smiling approval of society. Nietzsche would observe that this man became a last man, the content, self-satisfied creature who has forgotten how to strive, who blinks and says, "We have invented happiness." The mistake wasn't the choice of a partner. The mistake was the choice of a soft, compliant existence over the brutal, heroic necessity of becoming Übermensch. The realization hits him with the force of a cosmological event, because it is irreversible. He is no longer suffering from temporary marital fatigue or superficial disagreement. He is suffering from the recognition of his lost potential. He recognizes the sheer weight of time invested, time spent decorating a cage instead of building wings. Every object in the home, every photograph on the mantelpiece, every piece of shared history becomes a monument to his colossal error. The silent communication in the room confirms it. They are two separate souls, locked into an economic and social arrangement, exchanging comfortable lies for existential security. There is no fire left, because he intentionally smothered it years ago, mistaking its dangerous warmth for unnecessary chaos. The error is the ultimate self-deception, convincing himself that the cessation of struggle was the definition of success. And this leads to the terrible climax, the Nietzschean test, the horrific concept of the eternal recurrence. Imagine a demon stealing into the night, whispering that this very life, exactly as it is now, must be lived again and again, in eternal repetition. Every pain, every joy, every compromise, every quiet late night staring into the void, repeated infinitely. The married man, caught in this moment of precise clarity, cannot say yes to this life. He recoils. The thought of this domestic inertia, this spiritual compromise, this slow, inevitable atrophy of the soul, repeating forever, is the definition of cosmic horror. His mistake, therefore, is proven not merely bad, but existentially tragic. The marriage is the reason he cannot embrace his destiny. It is the chain that binds him to the dust. The man realizes he is living a life that, if presented as his eternal fate, would crush him under its crushing mediocrity. The consequence of this realization is profound isolation. He cannot share this truth. He cannot explain to his wife that she is not the mistake. The idea of stability she represents is the mistake. He cannot tell his friends that their approval was the very poison that led him here. He is now alone in his terrible knowledge, forced to perform the role of the contented husband. Knowing the truth is a screaming abyss beneath the floorboards. He becomes a philosopher trapped in a sitcom, a man who has awakened to the profound tragic dimension of existence, but must still remember to take out the trash. This new vision fundamentally changes his relationship with time. He sees the past not as preparation, but as a series of errors leading inevitably to this cage. He sees the future not as possibility, but as a slow, predetermined coast toward the grave, marked by more compromises and less self. He is caught in a temporal bind, too cowardly to destroy the life he built, and too clear-eyed to ever enjoy it again. This is the moment Nietzsche predicted for those who seek solace over self-overcoming. The terrible awakening to the fact that they have already died and are merely occupying space until the body catches up with the soul's demise. The man realizes that the real tragedy is not the unhappiness of the marriage, but the happiness that was purchased at the cost of his own philosophical manhood. He achieved contentment, the goal of the last man, and found it utterly meaningless, a desert of fulfilled desires. He now understands the insidious nature of slave morality, the inversion of values where weakness, dependence, and comfort are lauded as virtues. He sought shelter, and now that shelter feels like a tomb. He embraced duty, and now duty feels like a chain forged by mediocre expectation. His life is defined by resentment, not aimed at his partner, but aimed with scalding intensity at the man in the mirror who chose ease over greatness. This resentment is the wound that will never heal, the perpetual reminder of the choice he failed to make. The silence of the house in the early morning is not peace. It is the sound of his own will to power dying. The final irony, the true Nietzschean horror, is that he now knows that to rectify the mistake would require an act of monumental destructive force, an earthquake that would shatter the lives of all those around him. He understands that genuine self-affirmation demands ruthlessness, but having spent years cultivating weakness and softness, he lacks the necessary strength for this destructive rebirth. He chose comfort and lost the capacity for cruelty, not cruel to others, but cruel enough to himself and the life he built, to burn it all down and start over. He is thus paralyzed, trapped between the unbearable knowledge of his failure and the inability to act upon that knowledge. He has seen the light of truth, but he is too weak to walk toward it. He will continue to live the lie, meticulously performing the rituals of the committed man, perhaps even with increased diligence as a form of penance. He will laugh at the appropriate times, he will attend the dinners, and he will plan the vacations. But inside, he is irrevocably separated. He is a ghost haunting his own life, having witnessed his own spiritual execution. The realization wasn't the end of the marriage, it was the end of the man who entered it. He now exists in a state of pure, detached observation, watching the slow, grinding machinery of his life turn, knowing exactly what it cost him, and that the price was too high. He has traded potential for possession, freedom for routine, and the terrifying peak of the Übermensch for the comfortable hollow of the last man. This is the exact moment every married man realizes his mistake. The moment he recognizes that he sacrificed his soul for a shadow of security, and that the sacrifice was accepted. This perspective challenges everything we are taught about success, happiness, and commitment. If the price of comfort is the death of the self, what statement captures the essence of this catastrophic realization? Let us know in the comments below. Give us the single, definitive phrase that encapsulates this moment of profound, painful truth. We seek the language of the awakened man. Join us on this journey of relentless self-scrutiny. We demand your active participation. Subscribe now, commit to the journey, and hit the like button to affirm your courage to face the abyss. You are now part of a community that refuses the easy lie. Next time, we turn our gaze toward the structures that society uses to keep us small, exploring the precise mechanisms by which institutions steal your power and whisper sweet assurances of safety while demanding the ultimate sacrifice, your autonomy. Do not miss this essential continuation of the truth.